Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Nicole, and this is the Sol y Punto knitting podcast. I am here again today. I believe today is episode 18, which is incredible that we have made it this far. Thank you everyone for coming back, and thank you for joining me. This is a podcast where I talk about my knitting adventures, about natural dyeing, and at the end of each episode I like to talk about a plant or something related to herbalism. And today I'll also be talking a little bit about sewing and creative processes with sewing. I'll be talking about some exciting events coming up here in Spain for knitters, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you for coming back. If you don't know me, I can be found on the internet as ThymeWeaver. I'm a New Yorker living in Granada in the south of Spain, and I have been knitting now for over 10 years, more than a decade. And yeah, I wanted to say that I'm going to do a giveaway. So if you want to participate, I would like you to write something some positive, good news, something that makes you smile in the comments down below, because I think that we have been going through a lot lately, lots of bad news, and I think it's important to remember the positive things in life. And so as the crazy giveaway girl, I like to do lots of giveaways. I make semi-precious stone stitch markers, and I would like to give away another pack of stitch markers of your choosing. You can check out my Ko-Fi shop and pick whichever ones you want, or I can make you a custom pack. So if you want to participate in that giveaway, just leave a comment down below of something that makes you smile. It could just be one word, or it could be a whole story about something that has happened to you or whatever. But I think that would be nice, and we want to uplift the spirits. So grab yourself something delicious. That could be a nice cup of tea or kombucha, or maybe it's just cashmere, which is very delicious, or merino or cotton or whatever. Grab yourself something and let's get started. Oh, by the way, I cut these videos, they go back and forth like this because I record in both Spanish and English. So if you speak Spanish or want to practice your Spanish, you can head over to the other video, which is going to be almost the same, but it'll be me speaking in Spanish. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about what I've been knitting, but honestly, there's a lot of things that I can't tell you about, like what's living in here. I've brought it here because I'm going to record a little bit of my creative process of a design I'm working on in brioche for the Beltane shawl swap. So this shawl was gifted to me by the lovely Elena last year in the Beltane swap, and this is Tíntica's Rubia Madder Root dyed yarn. And so Elena knit this for me last year. She was the one who surprised me, and then I surprised someone else knitting them the Anamkara brioche shawl. And so this year, once again, I am designing a brioche shawl to give to my sorprendida, the person I am surprising, and I'm really excited about that. It's really beautiful. It already has a name. It is called Suka shawl. And that's all I'm going to say, but it is brioche, and if anyone would be interested in testing it, let me know. It's not ready yet. I'm still working on that, and I have that on the back burner because I've been knitting other things, but it's gonna be nice. And it is Suka. It's very easy. It's very enjoyable. I pick it up when I just want to fly through my knitting and enjoy it. It's nice. I like it. I know I made it up, but I like it very much. I also did a test knit for Sevilla Teje, which is a knitting festival that's coming up now in April, and I did a test knit, which I can't show you because the pattern won't be released until April, but I already knit that and finished it. It's already blocked. Isn't that crazy from the last time I saw you all? so that was good. And I have been working on my Sol y Yodo, my like lace top that I told you guys about last time, because I wanted to make the azad kal, which is the knit along for knitting things for spring. And I told you that I was going to knit with these two yarns. This is Hedgehog Fibres Piggy Bank, and this is Life in the Long Grass French Lavender. These were gifted to me by Alejandra. And I already knit the back part, and now I'm knitting the front, because Sol y Yodo is knit in like 2 pieces, and then you like pick up on the sides and then do an invisible seam, Kitchener, to put them together, and then you pick up around the neck to make the neckband. It's very simple, and if you're knitting it and you have any problems, just let me know. But this is also a really enjoyable kind of mindless knit. If you put stitch markers, I didn't even think to put stitch markers the first time I knit it, but my friend Marianela was like, oh, you should put stitch markers. And I got these from lovely Reme, who's a friend who came to visit Granada, and she gave me these, and they're so fun. They're really long, so I've never knit with stitch markers like this, but it's actually kind of cool, because when you're knitting across, you have to put them in the back, and then if you're knitting purl, you have to put them in the front when you're knitting, so that they don't like get stuck in your knitting, you know. And you could, once you get the hang of it, but like you have to be careful not to like knit them into the stitch, you know, because they're just like a string there, because it looks like a loop of the knitting, but they're really beautiful. And so here we go on the second half already. So really easy, a simple repetition. It goes like 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 3, the repetition. So if you divide into like groups of 18, then you can just do that feather and fan. And it's fun if you change colors. I don't know, I like it, I'm excited. These are very bright Easter egg colors, but I think that it'll look cool, like obviously over something because it's see-through, but I plan to wear like on top of like a black dress or something like that, because it's too much color for me. But I'm embracing the colors. You should see the test that I did, because that's, sorry, I'll show you guys next time, because that's also really full of color. So I'm embracing the vibrance, not only naturally dyed things. And what else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, well, about the Sevilla Teje. That is a yarn festival that's coming up now in April. So if you live here in Spain and you're watching this and are gonna come, let me know. I would love to meet up. That's gonna be really fun. And if you're knitting anything, you can join our little Telegram group that we have, and we're just talking about like spring knits. So if you want to join, everyone in there is Spanish, but if you come and you speak English, I would be happy to be the translator of the group and work that out. And you could use the hashtag AsadKal. I'll put that here. What else? I'm also knitting the Shifty. I don't have it with me, but I have finished both of the arms, the sleeves, and now I'm working on the body. But the other day, I broke my wooden needle, one of them. Interchangeable. So what I didn't have any more 3.5, so what I did was just on the left-hand needle, I put a 3mm. And actually, that works out pretty well, because the left hand, it doesn't matter what size the needle is. I mean, it should be the size that you need or smaller, because then like the stitches come off faster, and what is important is your right hand when you're knitting to make the size of the stitches. So it actually is okay. And I figure that when I go to Sevilla Teje, I can just buy myself a new pair of 3.5 interchangeable needles. Have you seen those copper needles by Leica? They look really cool. I kind of want, I don't know if they sell them like loose, like just one, but I would love to try to knit with copper needles. My idea, I want to knit with like gold plated needles or like silver needles. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my gosh. What else did I want to tell you? Well, I want to tell you about sewing. We'll talk about sewing after this. But the Sagittaria sweater that I was knitting, that colorwork sweater, I have it I'm kind of leaving that. I'll probably pick it back up like in late summer so that it's ready for the autumn, because I know I'm not going to wear it now because it's like really warm. That yarn, it's like Suri alpaca, so I don't think I'm going to need it now in spring and summer. And I had so many other things that I wanted to knit, so I thought I'm going to leave that. But I wanted to say that I'm in a book club. I've been in a book club now for maybe 2 years or 3 years. No, more than that, because the pandemic has been 2 years. So it's probably like 5 years that I've been part of this book club. And every month we read a book. And this month we're reading a book called Sagittario. And I thought that was cool. I don't know what it's about. I don't like to know what the book is about until I start reading it, because I like the surprise of it. And if you speak Spanish and would like to join the book club, you are more than welcome. It's really fun because, I don't know, when you're reading a book together and you get to like share that experience and talk about what you liked about it, what you didn't like. And sometimes I leave the book club like thinking like, oh, I didn't think I liked that book, but really now that I've talked about it with people, I appreciate it a lot more. And even if you don't live in Granada, you can join, because we meet once a month, normally on a Wednesday, Spain time, 6:30 in the afternoon. And Raquel, who organizes it, puts a computer, and so the people who can't actually attend in person can attend online. So you can join that way. We have read Iris Murdoch, we've read The Master and Margarita, we have read, I don't know, a lot of books in Spanish. La Regenta, just like a Spanish classic. What else? We've read Solenoid, which was so cool. Really kind of strange, but cool. What else did we read? Simone. We've read a French author recently. Anyway, if you're interested, if you speak Spanish and read books in Spanish, then you can join us. And what else? I was gifted by beautiful Aida a book about like sewing and mending and things like that. So that has been inspiring me a lot with my sewing and craft in that way. So next, we'll talk about sewing. Okay. So let's see how long Oso will last hanging out with me, because he's kind of excited about continuing our walk, no? Okay, so I wanted to show you my sewing projects. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I take a sewing class. I think I have. And I have a secondhand shop next to my house. And so once a month, everything is like €1. And I go in there and I buy things that are €1 that maybe are like a weird shape or a weird size and no one wants them, but the fabric is really cool. And so I found 2 skirts and I decided to turn them into a backpack. And it's not finished because I still need to make the drawstring, but here's the results. I don't know if you can see it, but look at that. Isn't that so cool? It's got the strap here. My teacher Pilar is awesome, and she had like a pattern for this backpack, so she showed me. She gave me these like circle ring things, which you can recycle from other bags here. Isn't that so fun? I love it. And here I have the magnetic strap, and here is where the drawstring needs to go. And it's inside. Look at that! And like this fabric is like super, super soft. And this is super yellow and amazing. And I love my little backpack. Also, do you love it? Do you want to wear it? He's not that excited about it. Yeah, so that was really fun. Inside it has like a layer of foam to give it more structure. On the bottom, honestly, I'm really proud of my little backpack. And what else? I had fabric extra, and so I made a little pouchy bag thing. I used the zipper that came on the yellow skirt. This isn't really as well done. I think like the inside, the zipper part could have been better, but it's the first time. It's fine. And Pilar understands my crazy style, and she was like, Nicole, we can take advantage of like these seams in this piece of fabric, and you can like put some zigzags in different color string. So that's that. And I love my little pouch and my backpack. It's so fun. I'm very proud of my little backpack. I'm gonna wear it now in spring. I just need to finish. I need to make that drawstring. I think I tried to put a shoelace in there. I was like, oh, no, you gotta do it nicely. So I'm gonna put, I'm gonna make like a drawstring out of the extra fabric, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe next time I will show you it totally finished. But very cool, very proud of my little backpack. And now what I'm making is another one of these dresses. This dress, you've probably seen me wear it. It's like this big circle dress that just falls down. And I love it. I wear it all the time over everything. I wear it in the summer, I wear it in the winter. And I wanted to make another one. So I went to the secondhand shop and I bought a dress, a man's shirt, and in my house I found a scarf that have all the same color. And so we decided that the best way would be to make the circle, like making triangles, and then I can go like interchanging the different fabrics to make my circle dress. I'm gonna see if I can put like a video here of my circle dress so you guys can see it. And maybe that'll be done next time and I can show you. Sewing is a lot. Honestly, it's really not much faster than knitting. It took me like a whole month, but a whole month, like only 3 hours a week in my class. Because I don't do my homework. Like Pilar tells me, oh Nicole, you can do some at home, and I never do because I always want to knit at home. I only sew in my class. But yeah. Speaking of the class, if you live in Granada and want to join in, we organized like a one-time workshop to make a really cool little tote bag. Actually, big tote bag. It's like bigger than most totes. And it has like this beautiful fabric that Pilar has to offer. And so if you come to the class, you would get all the fabric included and you can make your own tote. So I think that there's going to be another date at the end of March. If anyone is interested, let me know. It's going to be really fun. And if you don't speak Spanish, but you live in Granada and you want to come, no worries, because I'll be there and I can help you with the translation with Pilar, and she's awesome and is very helpful. So, and also Pilar was saying, for people who speak Spanish, was saying that she wants to make, she's like so active and wants to do so many different things and so creative, and she wants to make like tutorials and videos talking about like common doubts for sewing. So if anyone here has any like questions or doubts or things that might be interesting for Pilar to talk about and share her expertise, let us know, because that'll be fun. So what else? I showed in the Spanish part the sweater that I'm wearing. This is kind of not a successful knit. I've showed it many times. It has this awesome color work on the bottom. This I made up. It's full of twigs. This is Tíntica's yarn, and it's beautiful, but like this always like flaps open like that, and I don't really like that. I don't know. And it's like very tight. Like I made the sleeves very tight, but it has the cool, let's see if I can turn it on without disturbing. Oh, so it has the moons on the back, and I don't know. I always wear it with a scarf to like keep this part up. You know, I think I should put like some kind of button, but I feel like there's really no place for a button band. You know, it has the Latvian braids, which are my favorite. And yeah, so I always wear it with a scarf so that like it like holds the flaps in. You know, I have to go like that. Yeah. It's not good when you have a knitting project that like you need to fidget with all the time, but you have to fidget with this. Speaking of fidgeting. Anyway, and about sewing, I'm also gonna make another backpack, but like for hiking, because I have these really cool jeans that I also got at the secondhand shop that do not fit me, but I bought them because they have this patch of like a sheep and like someone's leaning up against a tree with a sheep, and I was like, that, I need that, and I want to make a backpack for kami knitting. Camino de Santiago this summer, August 8th to 15th. If anyone wants to come to Spain or is in Spain and wants to come to the north of Spain to walk on the Camino de Santiago, come on, let's go. I'm going to make a backpack for it. It's going to be great. And so Antonio of Beagle Knits, if you don't know him, he's awesome. He also lives here in Granada, and he's organizing this. He organizes like different knitting retreats. He has one coming up here in Granada in May, if you want to come to that. But he's organizing Kami Knitting, which is to walk on the way of St. James from Lugo to Santiago, 8 days of walking in the morning and knitting in the afternoon, workshops, and there's a bus that follows us and carries our like stuff, so you can be like knitting and chill. Most people like carry all their stuff on their back. I'm gonna make like a little backpack with my sheep so that I can keep my knitting and my water and my infusions and whatever I need and my knitting for walking. But it's gonna be really fun. There's gonna be a whole bunch of us going, so if you're interested in that, he still hasn't like launched it yet, but he's talking about it, so I can talk about it now, and you should come because it's gonna be awesome. Being outside in the north of Spain, walking, knitting, and being with other knitters, like international people, because I'm pretty sure that there'll be people from like France and Italy and Spain. And so if you're from the States and you know like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, Pacific Coast, PCT, not PCR. I used to watch videos of that while I was knitting, of like people doing like long hikes. I find that fascinating. And there was this one guy, his name was John Saorian, and he would just like walk all over the United States and make videos about it. I loved it. So come to Kami Knitting, like Camino de Santiago. It's gonna be awesome. And that's what I plan to sew. I talked about my pizza dress, yes. What else? I think that's it. This is kind of a short episode because I can't talk about my beltane. I can't talk about my test knit. So now I think I will see you in the next episode, but now you will have me talking about spring plants, and that's it. Okay, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, so this week I wanted to talk about 2 beautiful little spring plants that tend to grow side by side, or I've seen them many times growing in the same places, and I think that they're perfect allies for this time of year. So the first one is cleavers, Gallium aperine, and the other is chickweed, Stellaria media. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about cleavers. This is a plant that you probably know from your garden or along the sides of a road or the riverbank, and it's very characteristic, or you can like tell it apart from others because it will stick to you. It will stick to your clothes. It has like these like hooks, almost like crochet hooks that it doesn't hurt. But it can like cling to your clothing, and it's like long and tall, and yeah. And so this is, both of the plants, cleavers and chickweed, are really important with the lymphatic system. And so, as you might know, the lymphatic system is what moves through our body and takes care of us, like, you know, lymph nodes, they take care of, it's part of our immune system. And the lymph actually doesn't move itself. So the only way that lymph will move is if you are moving your muscles in your body, stretching, walking, anything like that, or manually, like with massage, or with some of these plants and foods that help move the waters of the lymphatic system. So cleavers are one of those plants. There's lots, like calendula, or even violet is really good, or lots of different plants. But cleavers, most plants in general that are used in herbal medicine tend to be on the drying side. So cleavers is an example of a lymphatic herb that's on the drying side. It will push and move the lymph, but in like you can imagine a sponge, you know? And so like what the action of cleavers would be just to like wring the sponge, whereas chickweed is one of the few plants that is moisturizing and will like flush out the sponge, you know? You see the difference? But cleavers, well, you can use them topically on your skin as like a poultice. You can make a poultice. You can, if you have some kind of bug bite or rash or something like that, or you can make a juice out of it and drink it, or I like to dry them and make a nourishing herbal infusion, because these are nutritive herbs. Herbs that do not have volatile oils, you can infuse into your hot water and leave them all night, and this way it will extract more minerals and vitamins and things into the water for you to drink. And what else can I tell you about cleavers? Yes, it is in the Rubiaceae family. So it's a distant cousin, or a close cousin, I don't know how close they are, of Rubia tinctorium, which is madder root. I don't know if you know madder root, but the shawl that I was wearing in today's episode is dyed with madder root. That beautiful reddish salmony color can be extracted from the roots. And I read online, I've never tried with cleavers because I typically just harvest the top part to make infusion or tincture. But supposedly you can use the roots of cleavers to dye. So I really would like to try that. To make a tincture also with cleavers, to make any kind of tincture, you take the fresh plant material, chop it up, put it into a glass jar, and then fill that glass jar up with 100 proof vodka, which would be like 50%. Unfortunately, here in Spain, the highest proof vodka that I can find is like 39%. I always get confused with the percent or the proof. So I don't think that my tinctures are as good as they could be if it were 100 proof. Lots of people use like really strong alcohol, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's not alcohol that you want to drink. So I think vodka or any alcohol that you would be willing to drink in a cocktail would be good to make a tincture, and then leave it in the vodka or whatever. I like vodka because it doesn't have a lot of flavor and it's clear, so you can see the color of the herb later on. Like if you make a tincture of Hypericum and you get a bright red tincture, that's really nice. But leave that for at least 6 weeks, and then you can use it in dropperfuls later on. You could also use it to make vinegars, I've heard. But yeah, so cleaver is such a people plant. It grows where people are and wants to be used by us. It's so strong, it can grow. I've seen like patches, like huge patches of it. And yeah, so it's definitely going to encourage the lymphatic system to work harder, which is important now in the spring, because maybe in the winter we were all a little bit more sedentary and eating heavier foods because it's cold. And now in the springtime we need to get up and move and stretch our bodies, and allying with these herbs can help you move around all that lymph and keep us nice and healthy. The lymphatic system is kind of like the cleanup crew of your body, you know. It moves around and makes sure that everything is nice and clean and takes out all the garbage. So it's important. Yes, so I highly recommend finding some cleavers near you. I'm sure you know them. I'm sure you've encountered them in your garden. So little baby chickweed, Stellaria media, is my favorite plant. Besides, I love all plants, but I really love chickweed. I think it's so sweet. If you've ever seen it, when the flowers open, it has these tiny little white flowers with 5 petals, but the 5 petals are like divided, like each petal looks like 2 petals, and so it looks like it has 10 white little petals, but it's really only 5. And it's just such a sweet little flower, and they like, before they open up, they like kind of like dangle off the top of the plant, and they're just so tiny, and chickweed is delicious. Like, I would say it tastes like, it's even better than like spinach. And I love it because when I go up on hikes or something, I can always find some, and it's such a great little snack to eat while you're going along. It has so many minerals, vitamins, lots of vitamin C. I wrote down here all the things: vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, magnesium, lots of iron, which is great. Did you know that your body absorbs iron better when you have some kind of acid or vitamin C, like, or vinegar or something like that at the same time? That's why they say, like, it's good to put like vinegar with your lentils or eat a salad like when you're eating something with a lot of iron, because it helps your body actually use the iron. So anyway, but this little plant, they're so hardy and resilient, although they have this tiny little root. It's funny because they just got this tiny little root. And they've got selenium, zinc, which is important, beta-carotene, antioxidants, amazing. And like I said, it's very demollient. It is a moistening herb, which there aren't that many herbs. Most herbs that we work with are on the drying side. So this one is on the moistening side, which is really lovely. They have succulent little leaves, and their stalk, like the stalk, is like furry, so to help you recognize it. It's very cooling and cleansing. It helps with inflammation. It is so sweet. So you can put it in your smoothies, you can put it in your salad, you can make a tincture of it as well, just like with the just like with the cleavers. I mixed them up. Just like with the cleavers, it helps move the lymph, which is what we want, especially now in the spring. And it has an affinity for like if people have some kind of like fatty growth, like, I don't know what they're called in English, I don't even know what they're called in Spanish, but if you have like not like a cyst, but if you have like a fatty cyst, like a small one, or even a big one, like these help prevent those. I think that once you have it, you might have to have it surgically removed, but if you know that you're prone to these things, like having cleavers in your diet or taking the tincture or even using it topically, you can make a cleaver oil. Am I saying cleavers? Chickweed, my baby little chickweed. Chickens really like to eat it. That's why they call it chickweed, I think. So little chickweed, you can make an oil of it and use it topically on your skin. It's really good for like any maybe diaper rash, acne, stings, bites. Oh, and fresh chickweed is really good if you have any kind of like eye irritation, like pink eye or even like a scratched cornea. I've heard people using it, and you just obviously you want to find a patch in your garden that's kind of that is clean and stuff, and you grind it up or chop it up and like get the juices, get it all juicy, and then put that as like a compress on your eye, and that really helps. It has been said to melt fat. Like people said, like drinking chickweed water is going to help you lose fat. But I think that where that was coming from is what I said before. Like if you have like fatty deposits or things like that, it helps move that along. But yeah, I've even heard of it referred to as a joint oiler. So it's good, like making sure your joints are nicely lubricated. So lovely. I love my little chickweeds. So that's all I have to say about those two. I hope that you can find them where you live and try them now in early spring. They're really nice. Again, chickweed is really good to add to your salads, to eat, whereas cleavers, I mean, you could cook it, but it's not really that yummy because it has those like hook-like things, so like eating it, maybe not fresh, but you can juice it, you can make infusions. So find some of these lovely plants and bring them into your lives. Okay, see you next time. Ciao, ciao. Muy interesante. Venga, oso, ¿tú quieres ir andando? Vamos a seguir andando.